Hello. Hello, alrighty. Welcome to day 2 of the Bowls Auckland Centre Finals. After some technical difficulties, we are live here with the team from Bowls New Zealand to bring you the semi-final match between Hannah Dawson of the Howick Bowling Club and Estelle Hickey of the Carlton Cornwall Bowling Club. My name is Brendan Walton, and I am joined by me, myself and I this morning. So buckle in and we will bring you this coverage of the women's semi-final. Also going on here at Remuera Bowling Club, we have the opposite semi-final, which is being played between Pippa Hassel of the Titirangi RSA Bowling Club. She faces off against Linda Ralph of Carlton Cornwall. And we also have the men's triples semi-final, which is being played between the Bridge Park Bowling Club side, skipped by Phil Taylor, and the Royal Oak side, skipped by Dan Delaney. In the first semi-final, and the second semi-final is between Ray Eo of East Tamaki Bowling Club and the John Carruthers skipped side representing Royal Oak. So we join here on the fourth end of the women's semi-finals match, and it looks as though Hannah is measuring for the shot. Estelle picked up a couple of singles, Hannah picking up a 2 on the third end, and it looks as though Hannah's just picked up a single there as well. So caught up now with all the action. Really do have a contrast of age and experience here. Estelle has been playing the game for many years. Very well respected female bowler here in Auckland. I will just bring up the list of centre titles because I had it before. And when I get back to the right spot on the list, just the 4 centre titles for Estelle. Obviously her sister Linda, playing in the other semi-finals, got well over 10 centre titles. Hannah, 3rd or 4th year bowler now, I can't recall exactly which one, but her game's certainly picked up over the last 12 months. She's made the Auckland 1-5 rep side. She recently competed down in Wellington at the Kitty Hawk Under-21 tournament, of which she won the females trophy there. So certainly coming into her game now is this young future star of bowls in Auckland, and we see there that first bowl from Hannah in a very good position. Both players by now will be starting to find the rink. Remy has just recently been stretched again, so you'll see across the green some chalk marks that look as though they're out of place. That's because the carpet's just been moved, and obviously with the carpet being moved, the chalk lines aren't aligned with the boundaries of the rink, so there's double chalk in some places. I know we had a few instances yesterday where players were getting a bit confused by which line was the centre. Estelle just pulling up with her second. Perhaps not quite settled into the rink. That outside hand usually tends to hold a little bit when you get out to the boundary line. See here, Hannah's just played underneath that line, so she should get right back to the jack here. Yeah, good start from the youngster. Better line this time from Estelle. Looks to have good weight also. Oh no, actually, not quite there. That's really pulled up quick. Bowl seemed to be dropping very quickly off that line. Doesn't look very impressed with that one. Although it seems to be coming alright. It'll sit him behind the head. Not a terrible position there. So with her fourth and final bowl of the end, Estelle looks to be a bit heavy this time. So a couple of shots there it seems to Hannah to extend her lead out. And it seems our scoreboard wasn't quite accurate as we jumped onto the broadcast. We must have missed an end. Yep, so another 2 confirmed there. Our marker for this match this morning is the Bowls Auckland Chairman, Mr. Ian D. Vice President Helen Blick marking the opposite final. We'll be joined later on today by our President, Mr. Graham Scott, who'll be marking the women's singles final a bit later on. And while we will be streaming the men's triples final, we do have a couple of cameras set up next door, and we'll be bringing highlights from that match as well. So you'll be able to see all the action here at Remuera Bowling Club. Of course, if you are local, you can pop in. Got the grandstands in behind and the roof keeping us dry. Thankfully, it's not quite as terrible outside as it was yesterday. It was really pouring down. It's a pretty good start from Hannah. Just needs to get rid of those nerves. She's obviously had quite a good run to get through to this point in the tournament, taking out quite a few names along the way. In the round of 32 she came up against, let me just find the right part of the results. No, she had a bye? Where am I looking? Yeah, she had a bye in the round of 32. In the round of 16, come up against Leslie McClendon, of Bridge Park. In the semi-finals, she defeated Aggie Motu. So both respected and past representative players in Auckland, and now she comes up against another Auckland representative in Estelle Hickey. So very comfortable taking out some big names in this tournament. Estelle coming through Just trying to find who on the list defeated Rebecca Bronson, another up-and-coming junior bowler in Auckland, in the round of 32. In the 16, she played Jane Field from St Heliers, who has been having a lot of success recently as well. And then in the quarterfinals, Estelle defeated Remus Strickland, who we saw yesterday win the Peers title with Nicole Singer. So some big players in the women's singles for these two to find their spot in the semi-final. And a great second bowl there from Estelle's put a bit of pressure on Hannah now. Yeah, it's the right intent, just making sure she's reaching. She's giving herself options now. And it's a pretty handy bowl as well, not trying too hard to draw a second shot and make a target, but she's found herself in good position. If Hannah does get onto that line, moves the kitty. Yeah, looking to play that little running weight, just missing the line this time. Good speed for that kind of shot though. I know, having watched Hannah come through the 1-to-5s this year, that's an area of her game that she's starting to develop. Obviously, new and young players are taught the leading aspect of the game, and as she's sort of developing into that 1-to-5 representative level, she's starting to build her game a little bit. Tends to be playing in that sort of 2 or 3 spot in the 4, but she really has found her own in the singles with the 4-bowl format, and that's a beautiful little shot there from Estelle. Just tucks in behind, that'll be 2. See in the background there the men's triples, and Remy Wera playing another one of their club championships, making full use of the covered green facility. Excuse me, making full use of the covered green facility here on what's been a pretty miserable Auckland weekend. So a mid-long length, and again coming away from the clubhouse, we see the players on this forehand side and watch the bowls really drop off that line. Estelle seems to have found her speed though this time. You see Hannah playing with her new set of Taylor GTRs. I believe they're size 2s. She recently purchased them with the support of Taylor New Zealand. They identified her as a young up-and-coming talent and have supported her her journey through the game. See, she wears the Taylor hat now as well. Neelish and his team over there at Taylor. Good to see the supporting young talent coming through. And Estelle there, just again not quite nailing that line, but with good weight she's found herself in a handy position. Yeah, better effort here from Hannah, looking to grab a piece of it. Yeah, good shot. Probably see a change of hand here, I think, now from Estelle. And you'll see Estelle playing with a slightly older set of bowls. I want to say they're an old set of Dreamlines. Could be Premiers, not 100% sure, but Both Estelle and her sister Linda have still play with those sort of older bowls from that, I don't know, I want to say like early 2010 era. I think she'll be disappointed in that one. She had a real opportunity there, wanted to be jack high. Stowe wasn't able to execute with her third, but she's given herself a real nice sort of line down there to play underneath. Sit the bowl, grab the kitty. Wouldn't expect this one to be short of the jack, certainly be reaching weight. Oh, probably a little bit tighter than I was expecting though. I'm not quite sure what the intent on that shot was. Perhaps she's just missed it narrow. So Hannah with the bonus bowl. Probably wants to grab a piece of it. Looks like it's going to cut underneath. No, it's going to hang around. That'll be another 2. So we're 8 all now in the race to 21. Too much noise out there. Down on a good line. Interestingly, they're playing around the clock, which is not something you'd usually encourage in singles. You try to find a side of the green and stick to it, but it seems to be working for them both. They're getting nice draw on both hands. And it's interesting, both players are doing it. Usually around the clock you find only one player doing that. I think they've both caught themselves out a little bit with that shorter jack, struggling to find that length with their first bowls. Certainly looks to be better weighted from Hannah this time. Yeah, nice shot, good correction. And it puts a bit of that pressure on Estelle early as well. I think that'll be key for Hannah in this game, is just making sure she gives herself opportunities where she can be confident in her shot play. Doesn't want to find herself in a position where she's 3 or 4 down on the head, having to play a big bowl. She's definitely got the ability to build good heads and give herself a real chance at winning this game. And I mean, we've already seen that. She's played some very good ends. Interesting change of hand. I think she's probably going to end up doing the exact thing she was trying to avoid there, and that's a disappointing shot. She won't be very happy with that one. As I say, I think that was the exact thing she was trying to avoid, pushing that bowl into the head, and by changing onto the hand that, well, I said both hands are swinging, but that one certainly seems to turn a lot more violently towards the jack, so she's really found herself pushing that one in. I do wonder if we'll see something similar from her again though, trying to play through her own bowls, especially if Estelle draws a second shot here, because it'll be very difficult to draw to. Yeah, I like this from Hannah, walking up to the head, taking a second to have a look. Yeah, and that's also really good. Not spending ages standing there staring at it. Shots like this, the longer you look at them, the worse they tend to become. Just get in your head where the bowls are, make up your mind, and go up there and play it. Ooh, bit of weight on the forehand, perhaps. Tell you what, she's not too far away here. Yeah, that's a good shot. And it looks like it's just going to stay inside the boundary. If anything, she was a bit unlucky there. She just didn't quite get that bowl solid enough. It was definitely swinging in and had a good chance to sit it through. Not quite sure who's got the shot there, though. But as you can see, it's right in on that boundary line, and still, with the last bowl of the end, has a chance to draw another, or rather draw the shot. Yeah, that's pretty well played. Two. See a small crowd there forming this morning. Some of the Royal Oak supporters, Carlton Cornwall fans, Gerard, the president of Carlton Cornwall, as well as our umpire today, our patron Kevin Hickland, Marlene Castle, also in attendance. Again, we're just seeing the Stowe not quite nailing the line on that forehand side. She certainly played it better this time than what she has done previously. Pretty good opening bowl there. Really forces Hannah to follow her down now. And that could be a bit of that nervousness, making sure she's reaching, and she's ended up pushing it probably a good 2 or 3 metres through the head there. Not all bad though, gives her a bit of position and something to work to. Yeah, it's much better from Estelle. Found that line nicely this time. She's starting to dial in a little bit, it seems. I don't know if I caught half a reaction on Hannah's face there. She didn't seem to like it. Looks like she's a bit tight, but she can grab onto that back bowl. She'll finish in a good spot. Yeah, she really needed that one. Especially when you feel like you don't like it, to get away with a result like that just gives you a bit more confidence. And it's given herself a really nice second shot too. Gives her some options with her third bowl. Yeah, no, that's definitely a bit skinny on the line that time. It's going to slip right away. I think she was sort of in two minds there. It sort of seemed as though she wanted to play a bit of a runner and ended up with draw weight. Hannah there in the background just sharing a little joke with their teammate Ting Ting from Howick. It's good that she's relaxed though, certainly not letting the moment get to her. I think it'll also be the first time she's probably been exposed to the streaming as well. No, they didn't. I don't think they streamed the Kitty Hawks, did they? No. Whereas Estelle's probably had this experience before, regular in Champ of Champs and centre finals here in Auckland and representing Auckland as well. Yeah, we see that runner this time, a bit more weight and intent. It looks as though she's probably pushed that shot up for second, if it wasn't already. Yep, to the call there. Sees Estelle extend out to a 4-point lead. Longer jack this time. However, we have seen the Linda, it's the sister, Estelle, sorry, has brought the mat up a little bit further this time. And interestingly, she's changed her hand, so she's now switched to the rink side hand coming back towards the clubhouse. So expect to see this one start dropping. There it is. And that's a pretty loose start for what we've seen from the from the last half a dozen ends. And that's a pretty tidy start for Hannah, considering. Yeah, and Estelle again with her second bowl, very high on the line, and that could find its way back to the ditch actually, looking at that. Yep, I think I just saw the marker there bending down to pick it up. Opportunity now for Hannah to create something here, give herself a real chance to score. Ooh, she's run a bit heavy as well. It'll still be second shot. Probably not quite as close as she would have wanted it to be though. And now we see the change of hand. It's a good move. Tried something, didn't work. Gone back to what has been working. However, it seems there's still some weight jitters. That change of mat length just throwing Estelle off her game a little bit there. And as Hannah delivers her third, you can see in the background Estelle just having a little chat to herself. She's put herself under a fair bit of pressure here to draw a shot. That's good from Hannah. Holding three, didn't need to be too close. And this could be the heartbreaker. It's looking They have a pretty good weight in line. Yeah, it's a good bowl from Estelle. Now it's going to be interesting to see what Hannah does with this. Couple of options. That's assuming she's one down, of course.
Very close.
Very close, the call. So, yeah, you're going to come have a look. I think the easy two options there are you sort of draw the jack with the intent to trail at 6 inches and hold 3, or you could potentially look to run the bowl. The run or drive, or whichever way she chooses to play it, is a part of her game she has been working on. Just opting for that draw weight by the looks of things. She's still watching it. I'll tell you what, she's pretty close here. Oh, that's a great bowl from Hannah Dawson. Definitely 3. I think that back bowl's probably a little bit too far back considering it's out of frame at the moment. But that's a brilliant shot under pressure. Really keeps her in the game too. She'll feel as though that's a win for her. She's having a look at that far one. No, just the 3. Interesting there with the jack. She's sort of moved the mat back more towards the 2 metre mark and throwing it long. You'd have thought, given that Estelle really just struggled on that length the last end, you'd try to play that similar sort of length going back the other way. Although she's made up for it with a pretty tidy opening bowl. Couple of feet. Yeah, that's class from Estelle. She certainly seems to be playing away from the clubhouse on that rink side very well. Yeah, it's generally a sign that she's a little bit narrow when she lifts her arm up like that, doesn't quite hold the pose in her shot. After you watch a few of her games, you start to see that little arm lift when she just knows deep down it's not quite where she wants it to be. And again, interesting choice to change hands there. You played a really good bowl with your first on that forehand side. Even if you were a bit narrow on the forehand, you were still going to find yourself in a good position. The idea of changing and pushing Hannah's bowl in, whilst it hasn't made a huge effect, it does just get in your head ever so slightly. And again, just going for the overdraw weight is Hannah giving herself options now with a back bowl. Yeah, this looks to be on a better line. Yeah, It's come around nicely. Hasn't left a target. Very good bowl. As the rain starts to fall again outside. Covered facility here at Remuera proving very useful. And chasing after this one, Hannah needs to swing. Yeah, similar to her last, I would say. Probably just a bit on the high side more than the weight. The weight was pretty good for the sort of shot she was looking for. And now an opportunity for Estelle to get those 3 points back. It looks as, yep, she has got there. It'll just be the 3. Take someone more optimistic than me to try and get 4 out of that one. Take a look at some of the supporters there of the Royal Oak Bridge Park match. Let's see if we can't get a couple of updates in a couple of ends time on the scores. In the background there we have the, I believe it's the Remuera Club Triples final. All their championships here at Remuera are played optional and in mufti. We had the completion of the Club Peers final here yesterday. And finishing off the triples today, making full use of this undercover facility. Ensuring everybody gets their games finished as the Champ season will be starting in the next week actually with the singles. Kick off with the singles, which will be played between Epsom and Royal Oak on the Saturday, and then here for post-section on Sunday. Peers will be here, based out of here as well, and then the triples and fours move to Royal Oak for post-section, but we will be using Remuera as well as a facility. And I know they talked yesterday about a couple of other covers in the works. We have Papatoe Hunter's Corner that have been taking a very long time to get their cover built with various challenges. We're hoping to have them probably not this winter, but certainly by next season. We were anticipating to have them for this series, but due to various delays that's not happened. Howick Bowling Club have also just recently signed off on the plans to get their cover built down on their what is it, D green? Yeah, D green, which is the one at the far bottom left for those of you familiar with Howick, as we see a great bowl there from Estelle. And I know there's a couple of other clubs that are also seriously looking into putting covered greens in, including Auckland, Te Aratu, Point Chev, just to name a few. Certainly are an asset to a bowling club, and especially in Auckland's weather. It's all good and well putting carpet greens down, but the way it rains here in Auckland, they don't do much good when they're underwater, so having that cover is that extra layer of protection and ensures that we can keep playing. And we're very fortunate to have 2 or 3 already. New Lin's getting their surface replaced as we speak, and that'll be set to be played on again in a couple of weeks. Their first big tournament with the new green will be the King's Birthday tournament there. Already have a full field. Looking forward to seeing that one unfold. And of course it was just recently announced that they'll be hosting the Oceania Challenge as well, so that's another exciting thing for Auckland to be able to host that World Bowls event. Very successful last year. Hannah now just looking to get a bit of jack movement. Looks to be swinging in nicely. Just skimming past. So this is a big end really in the context of the game, as I've been blabbering away about completely irrelevant things. If Estelle can draw this shot, really puts the pressure on Hannah. Potentially 18-11. Puts her in check-out range and changes the mentality of this game drastically. Oh, she's pulled up short here. I mean, The big boisterous man in me sees a nice little forehand run shot for a kill. Even if you were to sit the two-shot bowls, you'd give yourself options. But perhaps the more calm and collected Hannah just looks to improve on her last draw shot. On the backhand. All down to her weight here. Looks to be a little heavy. She's chasing after it. Yeah, put it out on a good line, gave it a chance, but just a few too many wheat bix. And it's looking like 2, potentially 3. Just the 2. Still at 17 does put Estelle in checkout range. Well, not very common to see a 4 be picked up. See Hannah there just having a chat to her dad, Dave. Also a aspiring talent in the game. Not quite achieving the same successes as his daughter, but plays out of the Pakuranga Bowling Club. But always there to support Hannah. Professional chauffeur. And has a bit of a keen interest in photography as well, so we've definitely used his services in the past when we've had some of our fixtures and rep matches and things like that. It's great to have those kind of people in our community, and it's great that we have parents supporting their kids getting into what's a really good game to be competitive in as a youngster. Really think this is an end that Hannah would want to see herself scoring on, just to get those nerves back in line. Don't want to be seen as dropping away too much. If you can keep Estelle on 17 for a couple of ends, you feel like you give yourself a really good chance to score, get back into this game. You don't have to pick up those 6 shots in 2 ends, but certainly if you can close that deficit, restrict it to a 1 maybe in a couple of ends time, feel as though you manage the game well, give yourself a chance. Just a little bit heavier this time. Looks as though Estelle's holding the shot there with that bowl in the middle of the head. This is breaking down into a very nice line. And then I just about think we'll put Hannah on the other hand, but it gives her a really nice option to sit the bowl or trail the kiddie through for 2 or 3 shots. Although she's sticking to the backhand, so we might see a little bit more weight than I was perhaps thinking. Oh no, she's just going to play the draw. Well, she's given herself a really good chance to make a number here. It's going to require a very good shot, but she's got the option. And with Estelle holding a couple, likely to draw as well. There's 2 options here. You draw the 3rd shot, put the pressure on, or you cover those that triangle at the back where there's the danger. And I'm thinking by the change of hand that's probably what she's looking at. Oh, something's caught her eye on a neighbouring rink. Oh, she's changed her hand. Well, very interesting. And it's sort of resulted in a bit of a nothing bowl, really. She's going to come around the back. Certainly not inside that triangle, but it has given her the back bowl, so if Hannah was to play big weight, it would restrict her to only one. And certainly more of a searching weight this time. And she's pretty close. She needs to get on the outside edge of the jack. Oh, she's got too much of it. She'll go one down to that last bowl of Estelle's. So, proving to be a good positional bowl after all. Still do think the intent of Hannah's shot probably would have got a better result on the other hand. Would have allowed her to play a bit more of a controlled weight than that searching runner that she was. Or did, rather. So we move to 18-11. And a shorter length end, and I think that's on the wrong chalk line, Mr. D. Players haven't seemed to notice. Maybe I'm wrong. Breaking in nicely. It's a good opening bowl from Hannah. As I say, she just needs to get off that 11. See, she's been 3 ends now without scoring, which isn't too bad, but as your opponent's getting closer and closer to that magic number, not being able to break that score becomes more and more detrimental. Looks to be a little bit heavier than her previous bowl, but if she can match Estelle, she's going to give herself a really nice position. Yeah, nothing wrong with that one. Better looking speed here from Estelle, looking to grab a piece of the kitty. And it's a very nice bowl. And again, I think we see Hannah with a choice to make. She's quite quick on the mat. She's well, actually, no, I don't know what it's suggesting. No, I'm just trying to play the draw. So, I mean, I guess the danger in attacking is you miss narrow and take out your own. If you were to miss a little bit wide and slice the kitty, which that's just been taken out of play, you end up dropping 4 out to the left, but that's not going to happen anymore. Yeah, interesting here. You almost don't really want to drive, because now if you lose your bowl, okay, there's a chance you might take out one of Estelle's, but the percentage sort of suggests you're going to take your own out and lose the game. Although, of course, if you hit it square and confidently, you put the kitty in the ditch and you might go 1 down. I'll tell you what, she's not too far away here. No, she's lost her own bowl. And I do believe that is the game. Yeah, shake hands. Well, a valiant effort from the youngster. She certainly took out some class opposition to find her way into today's semi-final. But on this occasion it is Estelle Hickey who finds herself in the lead, and as I look across there in the back of that frame to the scoreboard on the neighbouring rink, it looked as though it was 14-7, which would be in favour of Linda Ralph, I believe. But that does conclude the coverage for this women's semi-final. We will be back at around 11 o'clock. We will be back around 11 o'clock for the men's triples final. We will also have the women's singles final with the cameras there. We'll show some highlights and replays and things throughout that game. I do believe I'll be joined a little bit later in commentary by Brett O'Reilly as well, so that'll be a nice little treat to have a chat with him, catch up on all things World Bowls. But in the meantime, we will just hang about and watch the end as the players sort of celebrate a little bit. We'll see if we can get our cameraman to flick across and grab some scores from the other rinks. Give you a bit of an update as to what's going on. Where are we? Yeah, so it's looking as though Linda Ralph leading Pippa Hassel 14-7 there in the other women's semi-final. And in the men's triples, we can't quite see what's that. East Tamaki leading Royal Oak 12-7, and we'll give you that update. But for now, we bid you farewell, and we'll be back, I believe, just after 11 o'clock with the commencement of the men's triples final. We'll see you then.